Alright, I'm back. I'm doing a recording for tonight. Yeah. Green Ethan actually let me do 2 recordings on Friday night, I believe it was. So, I get... So I'm doing an extra recording to make up for tonight. Alright, so we ended off yesterday's video with Harmony Day. Oh yes, it's raining. And Harmony Day was a bit interesting, not gonna lie. Because the one bachelor that wasn't on the island was the one we got cookies from. All the other bachelors, they said, "Screw you, Shauna." Alright. Got it. Alright, B rank potatoes. Not good. Not good. I don't know if I'm gonna enter the festival this year. Or this season, the crop festival. I just kinda wanted to focus on getting as many crops grown as possible. And making as much money as possible. But since we have cookies, courtesy of Vaughn, and it's raining. I might. See if I can grow some more crops before the festival. We can darn well try. Alright, yeah. That'll be good. We can plant 2. We can plant 18. But yeah. We're gonna have to try to keep up with our villagers as much as possible. Because I have said before that they will leave, and we don't want that. We want our villagers to stay. Okay, good. There's Lana. I can talk to her. Because she is one of the people that do leave. Or that does leave. You know, there are, like I said, there are villagers that you don't have to worry about moving. You know, up and leaving us. You know, Vaughn technically does, but, you know, it's different compared to the other villagers that do. The other villagers just pretty much guilt trip you for ignoring them. So they leave for indefinite amount of time, and then you have to actually do shit to get them to come back. Vaughn, it's just a periodic, you know, he he comes to the island on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and on certain festival days too. I've noticed, but other, but then we just have to wait, for Wednesday and Thursday to keep cycling. It's not the same thing as the other villagers who can up and leave us. Vaughn's just doing it for work, for his business. The other villagers that can leave us, they're doing it to be a pain in the ass, pretty much. Alright, I'll probably make this episode a little bit shorter than my other episodes. Because I kind of want to just kind of keep this a bit more light on the content and on the length. We also got Vaughn to a green heart in the last episode. So that was pretty good. Yeah, I heard that you actually get a big boost of points just by them coming in and giving you cookies. You're the one that receives the cookies, but you still receive friendship points from them. And that's even more than you receive from, giving them a Harmony Day gift. When you give one of the opposite gendered villagers a Harmony Day gift, like, you're playing as a girl and it's Winter Harmony Day and you're giving one of the bachelors a gift. Or you're playing as a boy and then you're giving one of the bachelorettes a gift. You actually only get 800 as opposed to nice. Being on the receiving end, you get a whopping 1,000. Okay, those potatoes look really light. Like, they look almost like a white, not a golden brownish color. They look like they're peeled almost. Yeah, they're bee potatoes. They wouldn't work for the festival. And even if they were A potatoes, the overall quality and rank of an item does decline over time. That's why they say on the guides that it's recommended to just pick the vegetable on the day on the day of the festival. Otherwise, yeah, the quality will just keep decreasing over time. And we do not want that. We want top quality crops. And yeah, I think I'm just going to talk about Animal Crossing during this, mostly. Because I don't really have it. Well, yeah, actually I do. I have my social security appointment, but you guys already know about that, and there's not really much I can say about it now, you know. I'll talk about it again after I have it. Yeah, I said I was going to do a recording on Monday to kill time before the appointment, you know, the following Tuesday, but nah, I think I'd rather wait to do my recordings, cuz that way I'll already have had the social security appointment. It'll I can talk about that with you guys in the next episode. And hopefully I'll know what what we're going to do next, which I think I think I'm going to have a neurology appointment next, but it'll have to be set up. We have to set it up sometime. I was also supposed to get my social security card, but I don't know if we're going to get that during the appointment or some other time. I'll have to talk to my dad about that. He said he was going to have Nana bring me because I'll probably have to be there for a while and just kind of sit. Because that's going to be a walk-in, Dane, not an appointment. So I don't know if I'm going to get my card on the day of the appointment or if I'm going to have to wait. But like I said, if I don't get the card during my appointment, I'll talk to my dad and see when we can have Nana come. My grandmother, see when she can take me. Because we made the appointment in April, and then we talked about the card as well. I figured we would... I mean, not April. Sorry, November. Because, my dad was off for Thanksgiving break and stuff. So he figured it would be a good time to go ahead and make the appointment. But... as for the card, I'm not sure. And after my social security appointment, I think I have a neurology appointment. So hopefully we can get that set up pretty soon as well. I mean, best case scenario, we can either... They will set it up for us, or my dad will go ahead and set the neurology appointment up, Because he might as well do it because he's taking Tuesday off of work for the social security appointment. So he might as well just go ahead and do it, when we get back home from the social security office. That way he doesn't have to try to keep finding time to make that appointment. He can just go ahead and do that. And he told me that my grandmother can just take me to that as well. He wanted to be the one to take me to the social security appointment, but he doesn't mind having my grandmother take me to the neurology appointment. So yeah, hopefully I will have an update on that in the next episode. As for Animal Crossing, you, I've been getting back into that. You know, I tend to kind of lose interest in New Horizons after a while, especially because it had a lack of quality of life, a quality of life stuff. But it looks like they finally freaking listened. Because we now have bulk crafting. We can now craft from our storage. The whole crafting system has finally been streamlined. And, it made the game tedious. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people were losing interest in the game, is because everything used to be so tedious. But now they finally streamlined the crafting. And now we're able to store more items that we weren't able to before the 3.0 update. So that's pretty good. And I also noticed some stuff that in the beginning of the game, because I decided to restart for that very reason. I wanted to see if the experience would be a bit different, playing on the upgrade pack and with the 3.0 update. And it actually is different in a very good way. There is a point where you have to collect a bunch of furniture. For, because after you get the Nooklings shop built, Tom Nook will have you craft, or he'll have you place a bridge. He'll have you craft and place a bridge across the river, and then you can wait till tomorrow, but he does let you do it on the same day if you want. But after placing the bridge, he will have you place 3 house plots. And then you have to craft a bunch of items for each house plot. Like, there's 3 interior and 3 exterior items for each house. And, that makes a total of 18 items you have to craft. And you used to not be able to view them in one place. You would have to keep checking all of the houses to keep remembering the items that you were supposed to craft. But guess what? Now you don't have to do that, because they added like a request tab for crafting. So if you're currently if you need to craft a bunch of items, for example, if you're playing through that point of the game, or you're doing some other quest, you can just view all the items from there. And that's especially useful for that point of the game, because I used to struggle so much with not really struggle. It was, I was able to get it done pretty efficiently, all things considered, but it was just hard having to keep remembering remember all the items. So I'm glad they added all those items in one place for that point of the game. And then one of my villagers, Pashmina, she gave me a Nook Miles ticket, and that's not something I ever experienced before the 3.0 update. And the main part of the 3.0 update is the hotel. There's a hotel on your island now where tourists could stay in. But I don't have it, unfortunately, because, I've always, I mean, not always. I used to be able to do it very easily, but I swear they upped the difficulty to get a 3-star island, because in the past, I was able to get a 3-star island very easily. But now I seem to really struggle with it. But then again, I've noticed one of the most efficient ways that has helped me achieve a 3-star island is planting a variety of fruit trees. And that's not something I'm always able to do because, like I mentioned, you're not able to get all 5 fruit on your own. You have your native fruit and your sister fruit. And if you're lucky, your mom, who sends you letters in the game, she'll send you a 3rd variety of fruit. Luckily, I ended up getting a 3rd variety, so now I have 3 different types of fruit on my island, or 4 if you want to count the coconuts. But 3 out of the 5 basic ones. You can get coconuts as your native. You have to get them from one of the mystery islands, because they're a palm tree fruit, not a regular tree fruit. So yeah, I'm going to try to get back into the effort of planting more fruit trees, because I have noticed that is one of the main things that has helped me. I also heard, the having Nooks upgraded was a factor, having the Able Sisters was a factor, having more villagers is a factor, having some bridges and inclines is a factor. So I do want to try to get into the effort of getting all that done. Of doing all that, because I do want to eventually experience the hotel sooner rather than later. Money rules the world. You can't do anything without money. Never forget that. That is unfortunately very true these days, Vaughn. No, I didn't want to talk to you. Screw you, Mirabelle. Screw you. I was trying to equip my milk so I can give it to Vaughn. Yeah, I'll probably go to the forest, because there seems to be a lot of forageables at the forest. I hate navigating the darn place, but if it's one thing, oh my goodness. You can make a lot of money due to the amount of forageables that grow here. Like, they're freaking everywhere. But yeah. I am gonna try to make an effort throughout the year. Try to see if I can get what I can get done on my island. I want to try to see if I can fill my Critterpedia. If you don't know what the Critterpedia is in Animal Crossing, for those of you who aren't really familiar with the game, or you're not familiar with like New Horizons specifically, including you, Green Ethan, I know you know a little bit about Animal Crossing. I remember you were showing off the introductory scene years ago, back in 2021, but I don't know if you've really actively played the game as much as me and Ashton, but the Critterpedia is basically a record, that keeps track of the fish, bugs, and deep sea creatures you've caught. When you catch something for the first time, it gets added to your Critterpedia, and it will let you know whether or not you donated it or not. That's very useful. The Critterpedia was technically in other games too. It just wasn't called the Critterpedia. But you did have like a record where that it kept track of what bugs and fish you've caught and deep sea creatures. But New Horizons was the first one to also tell you if you've donated it. So I want to see if I can fill up my museum. I'll probably need, at least with the bugs and fish, I'll probably need help with the fossils and the paintings. But the bugs and fish, it's just a matter of playing during the right time of day and the right time of year. Because, there are fish that are just very generic and that are out all day and all year, but there are also fish and bugs that are only out for certain portions of the day or for certain months of the year. So that's something I do want to stay on top of throughout the year. And I thought of a cute theme for my island. I mean, it's going to be a mix of different themes, but the main color scheme is going to be pink, purple, blue. Pink, purple, and blue. Mainly pastel versions of pink, purple, and blue. And then I'll probably have a lot of white on my island too, because, as a color itself, white is very plain. But it looks really good with, certain colors, like pink especially. Pastel colors in general, but especially like pink, and then like, lavender or like light blue. And then I want to have like hearts, a heart, heart and flower, a bunch of heart and flower motifs on my island. And then I want to have some astronomy based things on my island. And just some other stuff that, I resonate with. But that's going to be the main motifs and the main color scheme. Wrong. Oh no, right place. Never mind. I was thinking about the diner or the cafe or whatever, but I need to come in here, actually. Wait. Okay. No, I don't have my milk yet. I'll come back for you, Vaughn. Now, there's still another, like I said, there's actually a blue heart event. I mean, yeah, a blue heart event, but I don't know if I have to trigger both of them or if I only trigger one event of each heart color. And that's gonna be something I'll have to figure out. I'll know either if once I get the other blue heart event, or if I go ahead and get the yellow heart event after I get him to a yellow heart. We're just gonna have to see what happens first, or what happens next. But yeah, going back to the Animal Crossing discussion, I like I said, I will probably need some help with the paintings, because that's going to be one of the slowest and most tedious parts of the museum. The fossils, I can do relatively quickly, but it's going to slow down. The more fossils I get into the museum, the more I will get duplicates. And, therefore the less I will be able to donate. Oh my gosh, don't... Ugh. Oh my goodness, let me milk you! Let me milk you! Jesus freaking Christ. Oh my god. You mother fricktards. Alright, we'll sell one of them. And I do need to get to the diner or cafe. Alright, that's an A rank, and that's a B rank. Like I said, it's better to just sell the better quality one, because there's no acknowledgement or incentive for giving better quality items. Alright. But yeah, the bugs and the fish and the deep sea creatures, I can do on my own. It's just gonna take a lot of patience. It took me pretty much hours to get a lobster, but I finally got one last night. The barrel eye was also pretty time consuming, because horse mackerels are the same size as barrel eyes, and horse mackerels are annoyingly common, and barrel eyes are extremely rare. So it took me about 20 horse mackerels, or I don't know, maybe even 30, to finally catch a barrel eye. But the lobster was what I was really stressing on, because they will go away after January. Because like I said, As as each month comes and goes, so does some of the creatures. Once January is over, we're gonna the lobster will, for example, will go away and we'll get new stuff that will be arriving. Unfortunately, winter is kind of... Okay, I was worried I was going to throw it accidentally. Sometimes the game can be unresponsive when you're trying to do stuff sometimes. I don't really think it's an emulator thing, don't worry. This is probably an issue on the actual, handheld device as well, the DS, but due to the finicky controls, sometimes the game just doesn't want to respond if you're, trying to, do something. You're trying to milk your cow, you're trying to give someone a gift, you're trying to put fodder away, you're trying to get something out. It can be a bit finicky. But yeah, I haven't seen Vaughn wandering around this area for a while. He's hardly ever here anymore. He used to be here all the time, but now we have the cafe unlocked, we have the diner unlocked, we have the forest. He seems to be preferring to spend his time there instead. Yeah, I already went to the beach. Because sometimes to trigger cutscenes, villagers do have to be in that area. Let's say you're trying to, trigger a cutscene at the diner. Let's just use Denny and Lana's first rival cutscene as an example. I think they have to actually be in the diner for you to go up and trigger it. Speaking of rival cutscenes, we still need to see Natalie and Pierre's, and now that we're in the second year, we can finally start unlocking the second rival cutscenes as well. Luckily, the one between Vaughn and Sabrina does not want to trigger, which is a good thing. Usually I want stuff to happen, but not their rival scenes. And you have to watch the rival scenes in order. You have to trigger rival scene number 1 in order to trigger rival scene number 2. And, for a lot of heart events and rival events, the game can be kind of strict. You have to be at the right place at the right time. Okay, yeah, I still need to get some more road preparations built. I'll probably do that pretty soon. Wool sells for more money up north. Makes sense, probably because of the colder weather up there. So people maybe hug wool, or not hug. I was reading not hug. What am I saying? Lana, you're messing me up. Not hug it, but, you know, wear it for warmth. No, I don't have a sheep. I can't compete. But next time we have a cow festival, I will compete in that. Mark my words. I should buy a wool bed. That does seem rather comfortable. Ooh, Cliff is here. I like festivals. They give me a chance to boost friendships with these villagers. I can talk to them so they don't feel like they're getting ignored. Sleepyhead. Animal. You know, at least Vaughn actually makes an effort to say some stuff. You just say one or two word sentences. Ooh, animal, grass, sheep, festival. Why are sheep making you guys sleepy? Alright, and we're just spectating, so no pressure here. Dana the sheep. I really want a pet sheep. A sweater with that wool will sell for good money. Yeah, Vaughn likes money. I can't blame him. Money is important. We need it to survive. We need it to buy things we want. I mean, it sounds greedy, but unfortunately, money does. The world does evolve around money in a way. Is it the end all? Is it the be all end all for a happy life? No, but it is important for survival. Like, you know, there's so much you need money for. Not just for wants, but for needs. Healthcare, food, water, shelter. It's just insanity. But yeah, I do want to, like I said, I do want to see how much I can accomplish on Animal Crossing New Horizons. You know, during the duration of 2026. I almost said 2016. Speaking of 2016, people are trying to bring 2016 back. People want to make 2026 like 2016 again. And honestly, I just don't agree. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things I do like about 2016, but it was just a very bittersweet year for me. There were some good things, and then there were some bad things. And yes, you know, there is a lot of the past that I really miss and that I would bring back, but 2016 would not be the year I would bring back. I would probably bring back like an earlier year, if anything, like 2011 or 2011 probably. I miss 2011, at least the second half of 2011. God, I have spent so much time grieving over 2011 because I just miss it so much. The summer of 2011. And then the first half of 2012. Basically, when I was 13, That was probably one of my best, most favorite, ages that I had. They say 13 is an unlucky number, but for me, it apparently is not, because, man, I miss being 13 so much. Like I said, 2016, it's just very bittersweet. It's the year I graduated. My mom, my dad, and my brother were stuck in hotels during 2016 a lot. We even had to do it during my graduation, which kind of fucked things over. But like I said, there are some good things about 2016 too. I'm not saying it was a bad year. It's just not the year I would go back to. I would either go back to, an earlier year, or I would, try to move forward with the future. It's hard for me to really stay in the present. Because right now my life just feels kind of stagnant. I'm either reminiscing about the past or just thinking about the future, to be honest. Hold on, hold on. But yeah. Tangent over. We just got a big, Animal Crossing update, so I don't expect to get anything new anytime soon, but I would love it for, like, at the end of the year to see if we would get the teaser for the next Animal Crossing. Because, we're about due for, the next generation of Animal Crossing. The gap between New Leaf and New Horizons was a little bit under 7 years. Between the two release dates. And, I'm fine. I mean, not New Leaf and New Leaf and New Horizons. Never, yeah, I was right. So if we could get something at the end of at the end of this year, and wait a year. I mean, not a year. A year is too soon, but maybe 2 years, or even 2.5 years. I think that would be awesome. I don't mind if the gap is bigger this time around. I think it makes sense for the gap to be bigger this time, or more than 7 years, because naturally they're gonna want to make the next Animal Crossing game bigger than New Horizons, so naturally it'll take a little bit longer to develop. New Horizons did a lot of stuff that I love, don't get me wrong. But there are some areas of the game that is lacking compared to, New Leaf, for example. For example, with New Leaf, we have a lot more furniture sets. We have a lot more exterior customization, creative freedom. And I really want them to bring all that back in, the next Animal Crossing. Of course, I want them to keep terraforming. I want them to allow us to put furniture outside and to secure house plots so villagers can't randomly just move in. But, like I, but, while New Horizons did a lot of stuff really well, there's a lot of charm that New Leaf has that New Horizons just lacks. Well, yeah, Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I want them to take the best elements from, both games and from predecessors for that matter, and just make the best Animal Crossing game ever. But yeah, I'm hoping we get an announcement at the end of the year. Like, even if it's like in December. Like, I don't really know if there's such thing as a December Nintendo Direct, but I mean, I'm fine. Or even early next year. Cuz, I think, sometimes Nintendo Directs can, they they usually come out two of the months they can come out in, from what I understand, are February or March. So, if we don't get an announcement for the next game by the time February by the time the year, or, this year, by this year, then I think early next year would be a good. Alright, yeah, let's go around and try talking to people. But yeah, like I said, I do want to try to stick with New Horizons and just enjoy that game for the new things that it has to offer. But by the time we get to next year, or, at the end of this year or early next year, I am going to be ready for something new. Oh boy. Good morning. Yep, that would be me. Yeah, okay. Here, here's what threw me off when I was stuck in the jungle in the last episode. I didn't know I could go over this part of the jungle. I thought it was kind of... I thought I was kind of blocked. Like, you know, at the... And it kind of looked like a boundary or something. But it turns out I was. So hopefully, you know, navigating the jungle won't be as hard anymore now that I finally realized that my brain was just throwing me off. Hello, strong, healthy Wada. Alright, I don't know where freaking Shay is. At least we talked to him at the festival. So that should count. If not, then that's really stupid. But as long as you're not, you know, you are talking to them at some points, then it should count as talking to them. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Alright, Alright. I'll probably play for another day or so, and then I'll end it off. Well, I don't know. I'll probably just end it off. You know, this will probably be the last day. In the next episode, I want to focus on getting some more roads built or upgraded. I was gonna get one in this episode, but I guess we'll just wait till the next episode. Alright, time to stack. Okay, yeah, I'm keeping that flower. I don't want to stack that one because that'll get rid of its S rank. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that one. Alright, yeah. I wanted to make this episode a little bit shorter than usual, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end it off right here. I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.